Lost Faith monologue. Today's date is Friday the 25th of July 2025. It's a warm yet somewhat overcast day. I'll be off for a walk after this along to the local brewery tap room to sample some fine craft ales and hopefully put the world to rights with company rather than speaking into a microphone while I jog round the fields. Who knows? So today I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Losing faith in people, in those around you, and on the subject of weight loss jabs. I really don't get them. Well, I do understand what's going on, but I don't even know why I said I don't get them. I know exactly what's going on, so let's scrub that from the record. So, I was at this social event a couple of weeks ago with a couple of friends and a group of people that are friends of theirs, and one of them has been on the old weight loss jabs, and on the journey over there in the car, a couple of friends that we went with were saying how, he looked a bit gaunt and they were telling him to stop doing it and blah blah blah, and I brought up, asked some questions, and they know what they are. They know they're repurposed what do you call it, drugs, what the hell do you call it? Oh, it's gone from totally got a blank memory. When you have to take insulin, diabetic. They're repurposed drugs for diabetics. And I think in a nutshell, what it does something to your metabolism. I think it slows everything down, and therefore you don't eat as much because you're not hungry. So the natural effect is you don't eat as much, you don't take as much in, you lose weight. I mean, you can try and do that with your willpower. There's an idea. But anyway, they're repurposed. Like, there's a lot of drugs which are repurposed, like AZT for poisoning people who've got AIDS, and then calling the effects of that drug AIDS. That was a repurposed drug. And they do this with a lot of things. They mentioned that they're going to repurpose one of the ingredients in it for migraines. I don't know why you get migraines. Is it the 5 A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Or is it the poison that went into your bloodstream when you were assaulted in your arm a few years back? Migraines. Anyway, back to the weight loss. So this person, I never knew him before he had lost weight, so it just looks like that's the way he's meant to look to me. But now that I know that he's been on the jabs, yeah, you can probably see he looks a bit gaunt. His head looks a bit too big for his body, but then again, That can even just happen to people who are extremely fit, long distance runners, for example. So he did look a little bit gone. Anyway, cheers. What's your point? Right. This weight loss jabber, he's one of those that his idea of banter is constantly trying to put another bloke down, and that to me is, there's banter, right? Banter is, to me, when you ridicule somebody's what they're happy to be ridiculed. So you pick a sense, you get a sense for that somebody is secure about something that's different about them. So for me, if I use me as an example, I've got very, very long, skinny legs, and a very short torso. I'm tall. Well, I'm maybe 6'1". It's not that tall, but I do have a very sort of out of proportion ratio between legs and torso. Maybe it's the golden ratio, but who knows? It's not your average. And I couldn't care less. People ridicule me for that, and so be it. You must just be jealous. That's the only reason I can think. You're trying to bring us down for some reason because of your own insecurities, internal. And I would be more than comfortable with that. It's like I'm not bothered, right? So that's banter. Alright, spider legs. If it was, however, well, I think actually that might not be a good example. I want to change that example because I can't do anything about my legs. Yeah, I could beef them up, I suppose, but they're just not made that way. Got long, slim muscles, not short, chunky muscles. So anyway, I'm going to choose something that I could change. Let's just say my hair. Somebody was ridiculing my hair, so what? It's my choice. I think it looks good on me. I'm comfortable with it. My wife likes it. End of story. Ridicule it all you want. Yeah, that's a better idea. Something you can change. And if they keep, and then you sort of acknowledge that, yeah, your hair's kind of different and freaky. Then you just wear the label with pride. Yeah, here's the freak hair. All right, it's the freak hair here. What time you going out? You know, you kind of like that, like little terms of endearment. That's what I was getting at. Your individualness can be actually like a term of endearment from others. It's sort of recognising that you're different, but in a way that you've chosen to be different. A lot of people are insecure about things like that. So yeah, this is a much better example. So if somebody's going to ridicule my unique individual hairstyle, then maybe their insecurity is their normalness, their sameness, their robotic, just following the crowd hairstyle, and envious of somebody who's got the confidence to stand out. So that's what I would suggest is the dynamic with that example. Oh, I've got a stitch. So, kind of poking fun at you can be kind of ridiculing you but also can be a term of endearment. And if I let it be known that I'm happy for you to ridicule my hairstyle, then through the fact that I just adopt it and let it be a term of endearment, then that's called banter. Having a bit of fun with something. When it's not banter, it's when you've poked fun at somebody and they're actually insecure about it, especially if it's something that they can change about themselves, like their weight. Ridiculing somebody's weight is not banter, especially if they are insecure or unhappy with it. That's not banter. That's callousness and cruelty. But no, men don't have feelings. Men don't have emotions. That's banter. Fucking retard. You don't realise the psychological, mental, or even physical impact you could have on somebody by, quite frankly, bullying them in that way. And at no point has the person who's overweight given you the signal that it's okay. But obviously the sociopathic mindset of the bully is that, well, they haven't told us to stop, so that means I can do it. That's their mindset, because they're left-brained idiots. So, back to the story. We're talking about this guy who's been on the weight loss jabs, and they seemed, when they were telling the story, that they were posing for the jabs. Like, nah, you didn't want to do that, man. You don't know what you're doing to your body. I mean, slowing your body down, your metabolism should be quick. Surely everybody knows this. The quicker your metabolism, more likely you are to keep a healthy weight. And if you're not bunged up, i.e. if what's coming out the other end is, just yesterday's intake, then you're not backed up. You might even, within 24 hours, you might let out, the remnants of what you had taken in. I'm sure everybody understands the metaphor I'm using here. So, some people are backed up days and days and days, and this is something you can obviously look for yourself. It was once I was in Amsterdam and I couldn't work out why the toilets were like a tray with a little nothing goes into the hole until you flush it, so it sits on a tray. Somebody told me it's so they can inspect it, and I thought that was a bit rancid. I kind of knew what they meant, but that's what you can do. You can see how bunged up you are, and you can do something about it. And that's a slow metabolism. And also, your body is hanging on to it for some reason. I'm not a doctor, I don't understand. I'm not saying I absolutely understand the digestive system. This is just, to me, common sense. A fast metabolism equals healthier weight. And also, food. People eat so much crap that it will bung them up. When I eat crap, I get like that. If I have a week, 24 hours, or you've had a weekend where you've had too much to drink, and therefore what goes hand in hand is junk food. But also, you're eating crap. It's got no nutritional value food hasn't these days. It's all sprayed and GMO, or it's travelled so far that it's literally dead. By the time it gets to you, dead, as in there's no living nutritional value left in it. That's what happens to fruit and veg and anything that travels, it or just stays there, it loses its nutritional value. That's why you should eat it straight off the plant, or straight out of the ground, getting all those nutrients. And when your body is starved of nutrients, this has been proven in a scientific experiment done decades and decades and decades ago. When your body is starved of nutrients, it clings on to anything for survival. So if your food is nutrient dense, it'll hold on to all of that goodness, and it'll dump everything else quickly. And then your body is living off all of the good stuff, and it knows it's got plenty to survive. The more that sort of food you like, the more you're training your body to get used to a nutrient dense diet, so the body doesn't think it's ever going to starve. Whereas your body holds on to all the crap, all the fat, all the toxins, because there's no nutrient in the food, and therefore it's in survival mode. And when it's in survival mode, like I say, it'll hang on to anything to feed, to survive. So back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when you look at photographs, your family photographs, everybody's fit as a lop, everybody's slim in the main, everybody's encouraged to eat homegrown food, because it was something during the war that people were, or after the war, were encouraged to do, have their own allotments. That's why allotments are a baby boomer generational thing in the main, because they would have inherited them from and learned from their parents, outgrown their own food. And obviously this would have been before the lines in the sky, so the soil's not being poisoned. So to me, so when your body is hanging on to that food, that crap, because there's no goodness in the food, your body's clinging on to it for survival. It's going to store it in huge quantities. It's like prepping, having a huge cupboard full of food, crap food, only food that's not as perishable, crap, in other words. Well, not all of it's crap, but you know what I'm saying. So when your body's prepping, clinging on to everything, like a big huge store cupboard, a big larder, then your metabolism, I would imagine, would slow down, because it's struggling to get anything out of it. It's taking its time. It's like sorting through a haystack looking for a needle. It's going to take its time. Cheers. That was good timing. Thank you. Some happy folk. The old man was nice enough, but him and her were just bloody miserable. It's the state of people, man. So, that to me is why people are overweight and they are eating crap. So, back to the story. They seem to be opposed, the friends of ours who we went to this gathering with, seem to be opposed to the idea of jabbing yourself to get slim. And I was saying, what the hell is it doing to your system? You couldn't be backed up, clogged up. You might look good, or you might think you look good. But Jesus Christ, just stop eating and move more. Get some better diet. Now, this friend of mine is overweight, right? And I don't know his exact diet, but by listening to his tales, I know that he likes his food. And I know that the recorder actually stopped there. That was yesterday. I didn't realise it had stopped, or the day before even. Didn't realise it had stopped, so I was prattling on for about another 20 minutes before I realised, so I'm going to have to try and tag the rest of it on and remember what it was I was saying. I remember my point, so I'll try and just stick to the point. So this friend of mine, I know that he's probably not got the best diet in the world, and the industry he works in is one of those which kind of goes hand in hand with having a bad diet, i.e. Fast food and cooked breakfasts and stuff like that. Work shifts, people always ordering takeaways when they're on strange shifts for their food, and commutes on a train, by train, and often gets, bacon butty or whatever, blah blah blah. Anyway, they seemed opposed to the idea of these jabs, and they seemed to know what they were, i.e. we categorised treatments for diabetes, and the general feeling was, or certainly the impression I was getting, was that they seemed to think this bloke who had these jabs was, maybe just taking the easy route and being a bit lazy, and that he should definitely stop doing it. That's the feeling I got. So anyway, and just to make another point, I was telling my wife this tale, and I mentioned how these jabs, what they do is slow down your metabolism, and whether I've used the exact correct terminology there is, worth checking. But also, they do another thing. This is what my wife said, because my wife thought I was wrong, and she said, no, I'm not aware that they do that. They release a hormone which makes you feel like suppresses your appetite. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't not believe her. She knows loads of people that have been on these or on them from work, and so I want to believe her, but I'm like, I can't have this wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that from a trusted source. So anyway, I went and researched it, and sure enough, it does release a hormone which is basically telling your brain something. Because I remember thinking, if that's all it does, why do you need to inject it? Like, if it affects your brain, like a paracetamol affects your brain, take away the pain, wherever it is in your body. If it's just to affect your brain and tell your brain that you've got no appetite, why do you inject it? I couldn't work that bit out. So it did seem a bit odd. So anyway, sure enough, it does do that. It's one of the things that it does. And but another thing it does is it does slow down the digestive process. It does do that. It does both of those things. So that's what I read when I checked today. It slows down the digestive process system. Have I used the correct terminology? It slows down your metabolism. And that's what I always thought. You're just processing stuff and getting it out the other end. So anyway, that's what it does. And side effects can be feeling bloated and having constipation. Well, you would, wouldn't you? You would feel bloated. But the odd thing is you probably don't know why, because your brain's fucked. So you're slowing down your digestive system, which I always thought was the opposite to being healthy, and the opposite to what you do when you want to lose weight. So, but your brain is telling you you're full and that everything's fine. So you're doing something which is counterintuitive to the human body. It's natural process. You're fucking about with it. And then you're telling your brain through drugs that everything's fine. That's what that says to me. But does it release, this is the question, does it release the hormone? Does the drug release the hormone through injecting it? Or as a result of fucking with your digestive system, are you naturally releasing the hormone which tells you that you're full? I don't know, it's just a question. I'm not that interested in researching this. I'm not going to fucking inject myself to lose weight. I'm going to eat less and move more. And I'm going to eat better as best as I can within reason, within what's reasonable in today's upside down satanic system of poison. So fuck knows what these drugs are doing to you. And they say you should still work on changing your eating habits and doing exercise. Well, they would say that, wouldn't they? It would be too blatantly obvious if they came out and said, don't do anything ever again. This is the magic injection. Your path to healthiness. So they are going to balance it, or look like they're balancing it with good advice. Safe and effective. What does that mean? Safe for the vast majority of people who don't know what the fucking hell it's doing to them. And effective. You lose weight, alright. Does what it says on the tin. You'll be going to shit out what you ate 3 weeks ago, but other than that, you're fine. Oh God, I can't even imagine. Just whoever, do an experiment, eat some sweet corn. Tell us when it comes out. So anyway, went to this social event with this friend of mine and his missus. And anyway, the general gist was that, they wouldn't do something like that. The morning after, he sent us a photograph, right? And this was an image, a photograph taken from the night before at the social event. And it was a photograph taken from a distance, right? And it was zoomed in on him, and cropped. You can tell it's zoomed in because it affects the quality, and then cropped. and he's sitting down on a camping chair. Now, sitting down is not, unless you fit as a lop. Sitting down is never it's never your best position for a photograph. So anyway, and this photograph is taken from afar. So this photograph is taken, this person who's gone somewhere else. It was like we were sitting on a big village green full of people sitting around, drinking, listening to music. And this person has gone somewhere else to take that photograph from a covert perspective. And then they've sent it to him, and he sent it to me the next morning. So he was obviously being sent it the next morning when he's sober, hungover, and probably not feeling your best anyway. And when he sent me the photograph, he said, I look like a beached whale, or words to that effect. You know, he was being derogatory about himself, towards himself. He says, I look like a beached whale, I'm going to fucking sort this out. And straight away I knew exactly what's happened, right? This is what I knew, and I'll spell it out. Instinctively knew. That fucker, Jabberwocky, who jabs himself skinny like a fucking smack addict, he sent him that picture. He's taken it covertly, and then he's cropped it, zoomed in, cropped it, and sent it to him to ridicule him. Because this fucker is so insecure. He's so insecure, Jabberwocky. He has to take fucking he has to fucking stab himself to fitness. It's not even fit. It's not even fit, is it? You're just losing weight through fucking with your digestive system. God's given. He's so insecure, he has to fucking have a go at me mate for being a bit overweight and make him feel like shit because he's such an insecure little prick. And I've socialised with this person twice now, and I've got him, nailed him straight away in terms of what's going on inside his little fucking head, right? He likes to poke fun at people's insecurities and calls it banter. He's a child. He thinks being fucking callous is banter. It's not. I can't remember if I've covered banter because obviously the recorder cut out and I haven't listened to it all back. I'm going to assume I've covered the whole banter argument. If not, in summary, very, very quickly, it's only banter if it's somebody's insecurity, which they're not actually insecure about, and that you can tell that they can ridicule themselves about it, because it should be something that they can change about themselves, and they just accept that they're different. That's when you're taking the piss out of someone's hairstyle, that's banter. If you're taking the piss out of somebody's, something within their physique, not weight, but just generally something about their makeup, how they look, stuff they can't change. You take the piss out of people's insecurities about stuff like that. That's not banter, that's fucking callousness because you're a child. And weight is kind of one of those things where you shouldn't take the piss out of people's weight because you just don't know. You don't know if there is some sort of problem, and whether that's to do with their physical makeup, or whether it might even be mental, it might be depressed. You just fucking don't go there, right? I fucking can't stand children with this mental attitude. Children trapped in adults' bodies. So to me, and I clocked him straight away, he loves having a go at people for their insecurities, but he thinks it's banter. And I've seen this. He's also about 5'4", little man syndrome, right? And I've seen it where him and me mate are having what he thinks is banter, and I can see the hurt on my mate's face in some of the things that he's saying. I can see it. I've got an extremely high level of empathy. My mirror neurons are fucking awesome. I feel what other people feel. I'm going to make that statement. I'm going to make that claim. I feel what other people feel. Especially when I'm in tune with them. So, he's what you would just call in the everyday world a fucking cunt. So anyway, he sent him that photograph. He's done it on purpose, and he's done it as if to say, yeah, just come over to my side of the fence, man. Just fucking jab yourself, poison yourself, fuck up your metabolism, fuck up your digestive system, tell your brain everything's alright, mind control yourself. Do that, lose some weight, and then be on my club, and then you can't take the piss out of us again for being a lazy little fucking cunt. Excuse me. So, I knew straight away, and it's not rocket science. Not rocket science working this out. I'm not claiming to be some sort of, some sort of telepathic fucking remote viewer. Right, so, and I said to him back in the text, I said, so he's called himself a name, he's called himself a beach whale or whatever it is he's called himself. And I just went back, showed some empathy, best I could in that situation. And I just said, Dafty, don't be too hard on yourself. Dafty, we'll do the coast to coast next year. Coast to coast is a bike ride from the west coast of England in Cumbria to the east coast of England in the northeast. It's a bike ride challenge. I said we'll do it over 2 days, something like 70 mile a day over some pretty extreme and undulating terrain. It's a great challenge. I've done it about 10 times, and he used to be into cycling, he's still got bikes, so he's got all the kit. Right, let's get him on bikes. I'm willing, right? I've got a fucking busy life, I've got my own priorities. I do this talking to myself while I'm out jogging, because I haven't got time to sit and do it any other time. I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. Plus, for some reason, my brain, it just works really well when I'm running. My brain and my mouth. So anyway, I've got a busy life. I say to him, this is what I've said to him, we'll do the coast to coast. Basically what I'm trying to tell him is, look, I've got a busy life, right? I'm going to put time to one side. I'll go out every weekend on the bikes. We'll build up slowly, 20, 30, 40, 50 mile. We'll get there, right? Now you need about 3 hours to get the most out of a bike ride. I've done this. I used to be very, very competent and strong cyclist. Not quite to a top sort of club level, but fairly close. So anyway, I'll put 3 hours of my time to one side every weekend for you. I didn't say this, but this is what I would have done next time I saw him. You know, when you're trying to lay out some plans. And even through the week, midweek, after work, we'll go out, get a couple of hours in, right? That's what I'm willing to do for a friend who is kind of asking for help, in my opinion. So next time I saw him, just the other night, what's he gone and done? He's already got them. He's got the fucking jabs. So it's worked. That fucking callous, horrible, manipulative behaviour has worked. And fuck knows what this is going to do to him. Fuck knows. So it's worked. His plans worked. The manipulator, he wants him to take them to make himself feel better. People don't like being the odd one out. He doesn't want, maybe that would take the piss out of him. I'm a pinhead. Actually, it's not pinhead. It looks like his head's on a pin. Skinny body, massive head. All right, big head. So I've just lost faith. I've lost faith. You can't influence anybody. Nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody wants to reason with themselves. And I honestly dread to think what this is doing to you, this shit. And he's just fallen for it because he's seen a photograph of himself. But speaking of fitness, obviously, you need a decent set of lungs to start exercising. And I read just in the last couple of days that it's now pretty much well and truly understood that the fucking poison of 2020 obviously affects your heart, and it also affects your lung capacity. So I think it was, I can't remember his name, Peter McCullough, Dr. Peter McCullough, I think his name is. He's one of the world's most renowned cardiologists, and he says, so he took the juice, he took the Kool-Aid, and he says that his lung capacity is down, I don't know, this is off the top of my head, so don't quote us, look it up. His lung capacity is down something like 18% or something, I don't know. And he makes the point that, and he's fairly fit, very certainly looks like a fit, middle-aged, older middle-aged man. He's a doctor, you would expect him to be somewhat healthy, you would expect. So he makes a point that if his lung capacity is down 18%, that's just him, and he looks fine. How many people look fine? How many people are walking about that look fine? And that's why nobody, I've noticed a few people seem to have given up running. Two women definitely seem to have given up. one of which I used to see running every other day, just about, and a second woman who I passed her the other day, and she was walking, but she had like, you know, exercise, like running type clothes on, but she was just sort of power walking, and I passed her twice on the same walk, and I thought, oh, she must be doing some sort of loop, so she must be getting exercise. And the second time she passed her, she said, hey, I haven't quite got me three mile in. So she is. She's walking for exercise. She used to be a runner as well. Now, I don't know, this is pure speculation, but one of them, the first one, was because I used to be part of the running club as well, local running club, and I was you had the kind of elite men, not elite as in professionals, I mean, you know, the best in the club, in group 1, top group, and I was in group 2, so I was one off the elite. I was a decent runner as well, took it quite seriously. This was before the nonsense. So anyway, I used to run with this first woman, because what you found was you had the elite men, and then the second group, because it was mixed, it was, you know, unisex. The second group was naturally where all of the elite women fell. So, excuse me, got a fly in my throat or something. So anyway, so I used to run with the elite women. There was one or two other men in the group, but generally speaking, it was where the best women were, which was good for you. Certainly helps keep your ego down. Literally chasing women around, trying to keep up with them. It definitely dissolves the ego. But she was in that group, and she was one of the best. She was one of the best women in the club. All of the events out of a certain distance, I think it was 5k and 10k, it was always her name pretty much at the top. Now I've never seen her run, and I just wonder, and the second woman who I saw walking for exercise, she was decent. She wasn't a member of a club or anything, but she used to do events, you know, for fun, you know, like half marathons and the Great North Run, and she was more than competent and could easily do a straightforward half marathon in less than 2 hours, which is good. And I just wonder, I really, really, really do just wonder. And I have seen her running very, very rarely, but I've seen her. So it's not like she hasn't just gone, oh, I'm going to stop running. It's like she's still trying. But anyway, so what's my point? My point is, how many people look fine, but their capacity is significantly reduced, and because of the Kool-Aid, but equally this obesity jab. You know, you're now going to have people who are as unhealthy as fuck walking around looking like they're healthy. So we're going to create, so, you know, get rid of obesity, because obviously that's going to save us loads of money, isn't it? We're going to get rid of obesity, but everybody's still going to be living the same lazy, toxic, poisonous, fuckwit lifestyles. So it's just a mask. And people are just going to convince themselves that they're fit and healthy because of the look it, or certainly the BMI looks it. And I think I might get a t-shirt. I like me t-shirt with little red pills on them. I might get a t-shirt which says something like I work out to look this good. Something like that, something to make it absolutely clear that the way I look is 100% down to me putting the effort in. Nearly 50 years old. I'm still running pretty much every day, every other day at least. And a couple of weeks ago I went, and I'm not taking it seriously as I used to. A few weeks back I went to the Lake District, a little village called Keswick, and overlooking Keswick is the mountain called Skiddaw. It's the third highest mountain in the Lake District, and it's, I believe, the sixth highest in the UK. And I just got up one morning, ran up to the top and back. That was it. I think it took us an hour 40 minutes, I think, maybe an hour 35. It's about 6.5 miles to the top and back from the car park at the bottom. In fact, I didn't just go to the top of Skiddaw, I went to the top of Skiddaw Little Man as well, which I didn't have to do. I actually did it by accident. I took a wrong turn on the way up and ended up going up Skiddaw Little Man. And I got to the top of it and I thought, oh, you stupid idiot. And I had to go running all the way back down the other side and then start again up the mountain I was meant to be going up. So I actually did 2 mountains in an hour and 35 minutes. And it was 25 degrees heat. I'm nearly 50 years old. Lost faith in people. I think that's all I've got to say for today.